we say salesman, and then we get the best one we have under our roof, which is going to get me in trouble with all the other guys.
New guy.
Well, they're not
sucking
listening
up.
right now, so I think we're okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're good. But Chris Sand joins us. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. A couple hours into our broadcast I think we're approaching the 2-hour mark. What's going on that the folks at home that can't see over in the Bay where you guys got all the products being sold?
Well, first off, I spent the first hour over in the Dexter booth. We've got the Storm shoes over there, 3 new colors that are coming out. Really excited to promote and show those off. Dexter has been great to us. Got some really good shoes, and spent the first hour over there talking to people about the new Dexter shoes.
And,
booth is definitely filling up, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
a lot more people are starting to come in.
This
it's good.
booth is getting
very
full, very full. Plenty of people here to see. Not only us over here live streaming, but you've got our professional staff, and then it's an opportunity for some of those pro shops that may be out in the boonies that you can't get to all the time. They make a special trip to come to Bowl Expo, and you get a chance to catch up with some of those folks as well.
Yeah, if you're
having Rick here doesn't hurt either. He's got a line over there. So.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good, flashing those guns, and I think he's just intimidating people to come to his booth at this point.
Well, you know, if you met him in a dark corner, I'd be a little scared.
yeah. I'm sure he. Yeah, he's. No thanks.
Chris Sand joins us. Chris, talk a little bit about your territory and what you do for Storm.
I do an awful lot. I have all of Michigan, all of Wisconsin. I have Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio north of I-70, and then I just recently inherited Columbus about a couple of years ago.
So what you're saying is you're not home very often.
Correct. Yeah, my wife, I'm on the road a lot. They've also utilized me an awful lot this year because I've had a lot of the events in my territory. I worked the World Series of Bowling in Detroit in January. I ended up going out to Milwaukee to do the summer swing to help Dell out for, I think it was 8 or 9 days. I do a lot of matchmakers. Steve Richter does a lot of clinics. We do a lot of clinics in the area too. So I'm on the road constantly, not only trying to get into the pro shop, get into the distributors, but I've really made a conscious effort of trying to touch the consumer, because as the pro shop knows, there's so many other options in the world. If we can create a customer coming into your pro shop and asking for our product, that's an easy sell.
Yeah, just to give the folks at home a little bit of an idea of what kind of team player Chris Sand is. I look for things. I observe my new teammates. I try to get to know everyone. And a good Chris Sand story, just a couple weeks on the job. Yesterday we were at the IPSIA luncheon, and we were talking about how demanding and how much work goes into this booth, and there was a possibility that we were going to have to work extra hard and extra long last night, and because we have our Storm Party, our famous Storm Party that was sold out last night.
Oh, that was a party to remember, too.
It was. But Chris was the first guy to raise his hand and say, hey, work is work. I'll be the first guy to volunteer and miss the party to get work done here. And I think, that means a lot to me, just thinking about you and your dedication to Storm. And I wanted to ask you, you've been with Storm for quite some time now. Why Storm? Why are you still with this company? Why did you want to come to this company, and what have you seen?
Because Bill Crispin called and said, I want you to come work for me.
Good reason. He has good talent.
I get the question a lot, how do you become a salesman? And my response is you fail at the PBA Tour. So I had 3 years out on the PBA Tour. I didn't make the exempt tour. I didn't make it through Q School. I wasn't going to chase the tour at all. I had a new baby on the way, and so I wasn't going to travel around chasing the tour. I had great affiliation with Turbo already, working with them, and I was actually going to go to work for Columbia. They had offered me a position, and then Bill called me. Literally, I am in my house, a 435 area code number comes up, and I didn't know 435 at that time, and he said, Chris, I don't want you to go to work for that company. And he made the trip. He sent Hank out, and they met with me at Turbo, and the rest is history. And there's no chance I'm going anywhere else. Hank is like a brother to me. He's been fantastic. Bill and Barbara are great. Corbett's been my doubles partner the last couple of years. I love Corbett. It's just a great team. We are the Bowlers Company. They allow us to bowl a little bit too. I don't have as much time anymore to do it, but they definitely allow us to be involved, and I still want to be involved in bowling. My parents have a couple of centers back home, so I'm involved into it on a day-to-day basis, and what better company to be a part of than the Bowlers Company.
There's a look at Rhino Page, Kyle King, Chris Schlemmer, talking a little about the products there. We've got some questions here in the chat. One question I just saw, they wanted to know what would be a good ball in the Storm or the Roto Grip line that would be designed for medium oil patterns.
Well, Frantic's always good. This freaking Frantic is taken off. We've had a ton of success stories about the lights out recently. It seems like everybody, when you're talking about a little lighter volume and they want to get in and go around, everybody still seems to look for that little skid hook or skid flip bowling ball. The lights out is done very good. I'm so excited about the High Road Pearl. It's beyond belief. I've been looking for that ball to replace my Victory Road Pearl, and I think that's the one that's going to do it in the line. Seeing Marvel S's go down the lane, you know, a little weaker drill. It's going to be smooth, kind of like that Disturbed look. You can do an awful lot of different things with them, but anything into that hotline category, I think, is the right direction. You could even go into the Thunder line into a High Road Pearl.
And then over on the Rotogrip side, we got the new Rumble, the Deranged. And the Totally Defiant coming out.
That's a pretty one, huh? Deranged looks nice. I mean, how can you go wrong with a Pearl Disturbed?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's you know, at least we didn't have to wait 5 years for that one.
Right.
Know, we came out with the High Road and then had to wait for a Pearl version of the High Road 5 years later.
Hey, Chris, do you have any, we have Rhino Page here with us, and do you have any questions for Rhino, who actually gets to throw these balls for a living?
Well, obviously the first question is, how's Rhino's wrist?
All right, Rhino, you're on.
Right now, I have surgery scheduled July 3rd. That's going to put me out 8 to 10 weeks, and then from there, start with the lighter balls and work my way up. The plan is to get healthy for the not the U.S. Open, the World Series of Bowling. I'll have to miss the U.S. Open.
Yeah, have you been bowling much at all, or you been having to take some time off?
I've taken time off since the Hawaiian regionals.
Right.
The first tournament out there went really good, and then the next two I couldn't even function.
Sure.
It's
got to be tough, you know, bowling in Hawaii, you know, difficult. You know, I get it.
Yeah, I'd rather.
It's
spend
rough.
time on the
It's
beach.
rough. Yeah, I know you enjoy the World Series in Detroit way better than bowling the regional in Hawaii. So,
Totally.
Yeah.
0 degrees when I woke up. It was perfect.
Absolutely. It's just to hang out with me, though. I know. I know you miss me.
Always good to see the Sandman.
Actually,
and have a lefty behind me.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot about the Sandman.
Yeah.
Like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out Sandman, or like the song?
I go more with the song. I get a lot of more of the Enter Sandman than the Mike Tyson's Punch.
Oh, I was thinking Mr.
of
Sandman,
Metallica
Send Me a Dream.
Oh, no, only when we watch Back to the Future.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
I have a Back to the Future T-shirt that I love.
Michael J. Fox, you know, grow up with family ties, the whole deal.
Hey, you know, you might not be bowling because of your wrist, but you really look like you're in shape. Have you been working out? You've been golfing? What have you been doing? Because you look fit and trim. Tell us what you're, you know, if you can't bowl because of your wrist, tell us what you're doing.
I've been doing a lot of coaching, actually, and we just got done bowling Junior World Team Challenges last weekend. And we had Junior Team Storm last year. That was our first team, and now we've added Junior Team Rotogrip. And our goal with these kids is basically to produce 10 of not only the best junior bowlers and provide them with knowledge and equipment, but as well as train them to be professionals one day. And our Storm team, they were our more, how would I say, they've been around a while. And we've been working together now for the last year and a half. And their performance really was awesome this weekend. When one guy struggled, another guy brought him up. There was no real rising star. And it just showed how important team is in the camaraderie back and forth. So I've spent a lot of time with Junior Team Storm and Rotogrip. I played a little bit of golf. Thankfully, you know, my wrist doesn't hurt me too bad with that. But as well as, you know, I've been trying to diet and work out and get back into shape, not only with my legs but my core, so that when I am healthy, I'm just ready to go.
Chris Sand, a question for Rhino.
Yeah, congratulations on the Quiet Mind video. I got a little opportunity to look that over. Very, very impressive. Can you tell our viewers at home where that kind of came from and what your thought process was behind it in creating that video?
Sure. Coming off my my worst season 2 years ago, I felt just in the dumps. I never felt lower and less confident. And, you know, I felt like, you know, what am I going to do with my life? You know, if I keep bowling like this, I'm in trouble.
I've been there.
Rock and roll.
And it turns out I met this guy, Steven Yellen. I heard about his program. He works with golfers, baseball players, football players, and I thought, well, I wonder if he's ever worked with bowlers before. And so I sent him an email, and we got in touch, and he actually went bowling for the first time in 24 years just to experience what a bowler feels, what our processes are. And basically, he took his program and made mental drills for bowlers. So just kind of modified it a little bit. And what it is basically is every bowler, all we ever want to do is access what we own, our muscle memory. And with Steven, he taught me how my brain works, how every athlete's brain works, and where our pitfalls are and how to get out of them. And it's basically a program that's developed to quiet your mind, to help get you in the zone on a consistent basis, and not just by luck. You know, a lot of times we have our best performances and we just fall into them. This is a program that will teach you how your brain functions and help you get in that zone every single time you play. And when you do struggle, you can look back and say, hey, that's because my prefrontal cortex got in the way of my intellect or whatever it is. So you understand yourself a lot more. And I always say knowledge is power, you know, and it's something that just changed my game completely around.
And one of the things, and you know, we want people to buy the DVD, but I know I watched the DVD right when, you know, you guys came to Storm and filmed it, and then I got a copy of it and I watched it, and I know for a fact that there's things on there that work because I used it myself. Tell us a little bit about the 999 drill. That's the one that I used, and it was absolutely effective. And basically what it did for me was it just made me focus. Whether you're bowling leagues or tournaments, and for me it was just bowling league, but I was bowling league, and instead of letting my mind wander around, I had a drill which allowed me to stay focused. And just tell them a little bit about the 999 drill.
Okay. Well, basically where I call it Ninesville, basically where that drill comes from is one of the biggest problems we have as players. We get over the ball return and we start second guessing ourselves, or we start putting a little extra pressure on ourselves. Man, I really need this strike, or blah, 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 and we get distracted. And Ninesville's designed that, okay, we've made a decision, this is what we're gonna go with, we're over the ball return, and you just say the number 9, very softly, doesn't matter what rhythm, how much you say it, and it's something I do every single shot I throw. And I'm just 9, 9, 9. And what it's designed to do is distract your intellect, your prefrontal cortex, from interfering. Because we all know the times that we've really struggled, we're very rowdy upstairs. And we can't seem to get out of our own way. And we've heard this all the time. Man, why don't you just get out of your own way? Well, how do we do that? We've never been trained, you know, on how to do that. And this drill is just designed to take that intellect out of play and just allow you to access your muscle memory.
And especially with bowlers, whether you're a beginning bowler, probably more good bowlers than tournament bowlers, but a lot of times there's civil wars going on in your mind. You know what I mean? There's all of these things, and talking about the science, there's all of these nerve endings firing, right?
Yeah.
In different sections of your brain, and basically what these drills do is just quiet the mind.
Yeah. Yeah, they allow you to, again, to get in the zone. And you know, in order to understand how they exactly work, and we talk about this a lot on the DVD, but the short version is all our muscle memory is stored in the basal ganglia of your brain. And what happens is when you have an intention to make a shot, it comes right from your basal ganglia through your motor system, and that's how fluid motion occurs and good shots occur. What happens is your prefrontal cortex, or your intellect, intercepts that signal, delays it, and therefore your bulk muscles take over, and that's when the bad shots occur. And that's all just because we're overthinking something, or we're thinking about something else, or the last minute, oh gosh, I better not miss left, or whatever it may be. And so the drills are designed to just kind of distract your brain from doing that.
I saw the difference in you. I was at every tour stop this year, and I've been at quite a few tour stops the last 3 or 4 years, and I absolutely saw the difference in you when you got on that program and when you made that DVD. I have one question for you. Now you're dealing with this injury. What's in an athlete's brain who is dealing with an injury, who's had success, starts to fire really, really good, then you're dealing with an injury? What's going on in your head about as far as how you're going to come back from this? Are you confident about it? Are you you're going with the doctors? Are you worried about it? Tell us a little bit about what's going on with this injury.
I think the key is I'm young. I'm young in my career. I don't want to bowl injured anymore because I know on tour these guys are so good that you can't bowl 80% or 90%. You got to give it 100% all in every single performance. And so for me, I thought, I'm going to miss the U.S. Open, and it's heartbreaking to me because that's the one tournament we all want to win. But if it means getting healthy and being able to have a really strong fall and winter and get ready for next year, then that's the best thing I could do for my career right now. So I'm confident. I've got a great doctor, who's a wrist and hand specialist, and we've been constantly in touch. But I think the key is don't rush out of this. Don't have surgery and then just hop right back in and re-injure it even more. So, that's where I've taken the step back, and I've worked on, again, strengthening my core, losing some extra baggage that I've been carrying around that could have been one of the causes of the injury, having these long weeks that we have now with like the World Series of bowling, and get my legs back in shape so that way when I'm back and ready to go and my wrist is healthy, that we're not going to have any more breakdowns with my body and injuries and everything else.
Rhino, right here, buddy. Got a copy of the DVD right here. Looks good, man. You look really good. You look nice and tan and sharp being from Florida. It's a nice piece. You can buy it on the Storm website. Where else can they get this thing?
Well, you can get it through your pro shops. They can order it through a distributor. I know buddiesproshop.com, who's been sponsoring me this year. They have it on their website as well, and a Storm website, of course.
Yep, of course.
So.
And it is a good. I mean, you definitely want to get this thing. What is it? $20, I believe.
I believe it's $39.95.
$39.95. It's $39.95. That must have been some other DVD I saw that wasn't worth it, But no, but this thing here, I mean, it's well worth the money. I mean, you pay for a lesson in your home center, it costs you $80, $90. You can get this thing for $40. You get to own it. You hang on with it for a while, and yeah, it's a great thing. You should go check it out.
I've never seen anything like this in the sport of bowling. It is fascinating. It's something that we needed to look into the mental aspects of the sport as well, and I commend you, Rhino, on taking that venture and doing that. It's definitely something that we needed.
I appreciate it, and it's awesome. I'm glad to share it with the bowling world because it is so different.
It is.
And one of the reasons why I really wanted to be here at Bowl Expo was to be able to sit and talk with people about this. Anybody that sees me and thinks he has a mental DVD out, okay, come on, I'm a bit of a head case sometimes.
No.
But it's something, again, that's taken my game to the next level, and I'm confident that it will for everybody else.
Yeah, it's definitely something that any high school coach should look into and teach the program to their junior bowlers or their high school bowlers, even college coaches. There's so many ways to get to the foul line. There's so many different physical aspects, but if your mind's not right, nothing good is going to happen from it. And this gives you some very, very good drills to work on and to take with you and move forward.
Yeah, completely agreed. And one thing that we always talk about is when we're bowling our best, we're confident.
Correct.
And what better way to instill confidence than to know that you can access all those shots that you've already put into practice every single time you play.
Yeah.
And not just hope.
The funniest part with me is some of my best events, I don't even remember it. Because you're just, whether it's the zone, whatever it is, you just don't recall those because all you're doing is going through the motions.
Absolutely.
And if you can trigger that or figure out a way to turn that on, ooh boy, it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
Hey, look who wandered into the booth. USBC Hall of Famer.
New
Detroit Hall of Famer.
New award winner too, Dick Weber, right?
Yeah. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And Bob Hart, I call him Stone Cold Bob Hart. And tell us a little bit about the award that you won here at Bowl Expo, named in honor of one of the greatest bowlers who you competed against, who was a friend of yours, who you probably threw a few back with once in a while and had fun with, but by the name of Dick Weber.
Well, you said it all. Dick was not only my friend, he was the ultimate ambassador of bowling, in my opinion. I mean, you hung with Dick, and it was very apparent the way he treated the people, the kindness he showed to them, and the attention. Sometimes the persons that are in the best position to do the most for bowling sometimes do the least. That was not the case with Dick Weber. He was a person that did the most for bowling, and as I said yesterday, it wasn't my award, it's Dick's award, and I dedicated that award and the honor and the recognition they gave me back to Dick. So just a great guy. We all miss him, and we'll never forget him.
It's a tremendous honor, and I can't think of a person more well-deserving. Congratulations, Bob.
Hey, now you were Bill Chrisman's first salesman. Is that correct? Or like the second one? Okay. You've seen
east of the Mississippi.
You've seen this company grow from those meetings that you used to talk about with Bill at his house, and like, you know, talk to me about the growth of this company, and did you ever believe that it would ever be this popular and this big?
You know, I did. I knew it was going to be a successful company. Bill mentioned at our last sales meeting, the first national sales meeting we had, there were 3 people present, myself, Bill, and another gentleman that helped Bill in starting the company. I didn't have any idea it would ever reach the success that we are today, but I felt we were going to do well. I wouldn't have joined forces with Bill if I thought we were going to fail. Bill and Darb are just positive people, and that positive attitude has, you know, rubbed off on everybody that works for the company, as you know. And I think a big part of the success is our team. We've got the strongest team, and you couldn't ask for a better team from all ends of the business, from the office, and of course our number 1 IT man in the world, and our sales. Oh, there he is. Hi, Mike.
Bob.
How you doing, buddy? But anyway, we've got a good team, and you can't beat the people. If you got, you know, Dale Carnegie, one time, or Andrew Carnegie, who we know was a very wealthy person with ship lines and local, you know, the engines and you know, he said, you can take all of my things that I own away from me, leave me my people, and I'll rebuild them. And I think that's a big part of the success story of Storm.
Bob Hart, USBC Hall of Famer. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
You got that right.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, buddy. Take care. Okay, 2013 Bull Expo in Las Vegas. We got Mike Chadwick and Chris Sand sitting in here right now. And just a couple more questions for Chris, who happens to be one of the sales managers, the regional sales manager for Storm. Chris, when you go out on the road, you've been with Storm now probably around 10, 11, 12 years, something like that.
This was my 9th year. Next year will be my 10th.
9th year.
But I've been doing it with, I started with Turbo, so I've been doing it for 15.
Tell me a little bit about in your early days, did you ever think that Storm would be this popular and grow to the industry leader?
Well, I actually started with Rotogrip. You know, Bob talks about, you know, those sales meetings with just a couple of people. I remember when we had our sales meetings at Hank's house. It was Hank, myself, Kenna, Roger, and a couple other salesmen. We weren't even allowed with the big boys. We weren't even allowed to hang out with you Storm guys. So, you know, it was always
it was more of a riffraff kind of thing.
Well, you know, you guys kept us at bay. So, Storm has always been the company that we were trying to strive to be like. I remember my first Storm ball was an electrical storm, and there's just always been something about this company. As far as marketing goes, it catches your appeal, it catches your eye. It's cool. It's the Bowlers Company. We have so many good people that work for us that have history in the business, that have been there and have done that. It's one of the things that I feel confident that I can talk to any person, whether it's a pro shopper or whether it's a consumer, that I've probably experienced something that you're either inquiring about or that you have gone through. So I feel like I can actually look them in the eye and honestly give them an answer based on my experiences. And we have a lot of guys like that in this company. You know, Hank always talks about his collegiate career. You have Tyler, who, you know, he's almost made a couple of shows here down the road the last few years. Doan Mose was an excellent bowler in college. Steve Todd, I think they won or either finished second at a World Team Challenge the one year. So you have people who have been in that situation. So when you're looking to, you know, get some information as I see on here, somebody wants to know how to get better. We've been there and we've experienced it, and all we want to do is be there for everybody to kind of to relay the experiences that we've had.